Morning all, how the devil? I thought I'd get up early and we'd do a quick CSI. Yeah, we're going to forensically go over the debate. Well, you know me, not forensically, more like piss-takingly. I just thought I'd go over some of the takeaways from last night's fucking abortion of a debate. I'll tell you what though, one of the first fucking things I take away from it... Oh, sorry, 1 minute, I was just doing my morning trolling of Gillette, hang on. Gillette razors are fantastic. I like to shave with mine while watching my wife have unprotected sex with other men. Yeah, is that done for the day? That one was a response to some fucking woman saying, "Thank you, Biden. America's grateful for you. And thank you for your son, Bo. You raised a patriot." And I said, "He also raised a corrupt smackhead that shagged his brother's missus." Oh, sagged. Typo. Ah, well. Anyway, what was obvious from the debate to me can be easily summed up by this tweet here. Telemundo, which is the Spanish language channel, had their poll afterwards, and Trump absolutely smashed him. It was 66 to 34% for Trump or for Biden. And I think that, better than anything else, illustrates the point that I was going to make. And it's a point that some of you guys made while we were watching it. It's that whether or not, I mean, I'm going to try and be as generous to Biden as I can be, right? I'm not going to sit here and say Biden was as bad as we thought he was going to be, and he looked completely shot, because he didn't. It was pretty bad at some point, but he was, for someone who was expecting him to come out fucking, you know, dressed in lederhosen and talking about his invisible friends whilst having lengthy conversation with his fucking feet. He did alright, but what's obvious is, whether or not you think he did quite well, or whether or not you think Trump did quite poorly, one thing is clear, and that is that Trump is sharper, stronger, and more forceful of a personality than Biden is. Biden looked fragile, he did a lot of pleading, and he just didn't look strong because he's a fucking very old fella. But the thing is, Trump's an old fella, but we all age at different rates. And Biden looked weak and fragile and pleading. And Trump was boisterous and cantankerous and aggressive. And he even had like a stronger voice and a stronger posture. Like, he just looked healthier. And when you're going to be going up against world leaders, people who will take advantage of you if they can, like Putin and fucking Xi Jinping, that you need someone who really knows what the crack is. And I think that is why he did so well on this Telemundo poll. I think that more than any other group of people, Hispanic men especially, we all know this. People will say, "Oh, you just stereotyped me again," and I do that for comedy value quite a lot. But again, the left have killed comedy. I'm sick of people fucking messaging me saying, "Oh my god, you stereotyped Scottish people, or you stereotyped fat people," or whatever. It's like, listen, I'm taking the piss. I don't think all Scottish people are drunks any more than I think all Jewish people are greedy. Just a lot of them. Just a lot of them. Joking aside, stereotypes are funny. That's why I say them. It's not because I'm a moron and I'm a collectivist and I think absolutely everyone behaves in a certain way. But in general, Hispanic and sort of Latin men are a lot more manly, and they're into machismo more than other places. Like, I think anyone who's from Western Europe knows this, right? And it's even true in Europe. Like, English men are not as aggressively, boisterously into machismo as sort of Italian men or Spanish men. Like, they're all about, like, their sexuality and fucking how tough they are all the time. We find it sort of immature. I think you should be quietly confident rather than boisterous with it. But that's just the way they are, especially in Latin America. And I think that's the secret behind these numbers, 66 to 34. I think it's that Trump looked strong and tough. And you can think that his answers were weak, or you can think that he said some stupid things. But he looked tough. He was boisterous, he was aggressive, he was insulting him. And they like that. Biden looked weak and fragile. And when he fucking had to go at his son, he actually did lose his rag, didn't he, at one point? It looked like he was going to fucking cry. So I think that much is obvious. Here's me having another go at some twat. This guy, Andrew Lawrence, was taking a piss out of Joe Biden. He called him Joe Dildo, the catastrophic candidate. And this guy's like, "Oh, a bit brutal on a guy who has dementia." All they do is cry. This is what I've said before. This is why the left has lost. the argument, because working class people of every political bent take the piss out of each other. Doesn't matter whether you're fucking ripping the piss out of someone on YouTube like I fucking do constantly, ripping the piss out your mates in the pub, ripping the piss out your best mate at his fucking wedding, torturing your mum and dad, or your brother and sister. We live for ripping the piss out of each other. We live for bands, for crack. And the left have killed it. They've killed it. They just want to cry all the time. Ooh, that was mean. Ooh, that was harsh. Ooh, that was a stereotype. Nobody fucking cares. All these losers want to do is cry about jokes all day. It really is off-putting. Again, just one of dozens of reasons why I think Trump is fucking nailed on to win the election. Unless they cheat, which I think we can take from last night that maybe they will, because they fucking want to make it. They're desperate to get millions of fucking ballots out there, aren't they? Like, if you can't find an ID, if you literally can't apply for an ID and walk into a polling station, you don't have the IQ to fucking vote, right? It's like a sort of IQ test. I think we should have a fucking IQ test. I think we should have to do a basic civics test to be allowed to vote, because it is a bit ridiculous that you need to do tests for so many important things, like a driving licence, but you can just vote on a whim. Like, if you don't know anything, if you were asked basic questions like, you know, when was the country founded? Shit that you do on your civics test when you want to become an American citizen. If you can't answer mega basic shit, why should you be allowed to vote? So the fact that they're so desperate to push ballots at fucking everywhere, it's just fucking send tens of millions of them out willy-nilly, shows me I'm deeply distrustful of them, because it's a basic thing to take your ID down and vote in person. Like, seriously, if you can't manage that, if you can't manage to sort out an ID, you're too lazy and too stupid to vote, in my opinion. I think that's like a one tiny hurdle you should have to get over for you. If we're not going to make them do a fucking physical and a civics test, we can at least make the useless, lazy twats get an ID of some description and go and vote. That's how I feel about that. Fuck me. It's like a basic IQ test for voters. Yeah, I'd have them running around an assault course, maybe do some fucking run through some tyres, do a medical and pass a civics test and an IQ test. If your IQ's under 100, you're not allowed to vote. But they won't do that. So let's at least have basic IQ test, basic fucking willingness to get out of bed and do shit on a morning. You actually have to get an ID and go to vote. What's wrong with that? Another standout bit was this, wasn't it? When Biden said Antifa. These are the fuckers who've proper been taking the piss for like 120 days at this point. It's not even an organisation, it's an idea. I mean, that is just... What planet? You have to be inhabiting another plane of existence to think that it's not even a thing. It's just an idea. Like, what fucking planet is he on? Said when Trump called out Antifa, Biden referenced FBI Director Christopher Wray's claim that Antifa was more of a movement rather than an organisation. Fucking Trump fired back, oh, you've got to be kidding me. After Biden mentioned Wray, Trump said the FBI Director was wrong. Well, he is wrong. He is wrong. Watching an old woman get punched in the fucking face in Portland and then a car blew up, I think that proves him wrong, doesn't it? Does that not prove him wrong, or am I being fucking a bit of a retard? Yeah, just so you know, it's not just Fox, and you didn't watch the debate last night on my stream. Yeah, it's an idea, not an organisation. What do you mean it's an idea? It's an idea that punches people in the face and sets businesses on fire. That's that's right-o, mate. The other one that made me laugh, and this is one I remember from watching it myself, was just this bit. Let me see if I can find it.
Black and white and Hispanic. And
yeah, there it is. There's as many people driving the kids to soccer practice and or the black and white and Hispanic.
The same car as there have been any time
in the same cars. Well, what did you do? Like, if you if you're white and your missus is black, so you've got mixed race children, where did all the Hispanics and the white kids and the black kids come from? Did you just stop at fucking petrol stations and just fill the fucking car up with strangers? What's he talking about? Driving them to soccer practice in the same fucking car?
In the past, what really is a threat to the suburbs and
anyway, so that was totally nonsensical. Didn't even make any sense. What else was funny? So let's have a look. Telemundo, he won. We've already been through that one. CNN, Paul Walker. The fact that he got 28% on CNN is quite fucking impressive. Trump won in Ohio from Survey Monkey. CBS, Biden. Again, if it's only losing by 7 points on the CBS poll, I'd fucking take that all day long if I was a Republican. The New York Times, 49, again, I'd take that all day long, 8%, with someone as partisan. I mean, because they're not even a real fucking newspaper at this point. You might as well get your news off a crazy homeless tramp screaming profanities at the sky. He'll tell you more about the current affairs than the fucking New York Times. I like the way Twitter seems to make it packing the feed with all of the fucking lefty polls. Washington Post, fucking Biden, they're loving it. Well, it's weird, isn't it? They don't seem very confident considering they're all fucking convinced he breezed it. Yeah, so that's that. Well, like I said to you guys, just keep at it. I'm one that's gleefully lying to the YouGov polls just because I want to troll them. And I think it'll be even funnier if once again they're convinced they're going to win. Like the Young Turks when Clinton lost to Trump. If you've never seen that, I'll find a link and put it in the description. Because that was just comedy fucking gold. Watching how visibly devastated they all were. I think it'll be brilliant if they once again think they're a shoo-in and they lose again. So I'm fucking loving life. I thought it was good, and I think Trump did perfectly well. Let me know your thoughts. There's only one choice in my opinion. Trump might not be perfect, but he doesn't look fucking weak, limp-wristed, fucking spineless little jellyfish shell of a man like Biden. So yeah, have at it. I look forward to the second one. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for listening. Cheers.